Love you. Thank you, RD. Welcome to the Big Apple, the site of the State Farm Champions Classic this year. Madison Square Garden is the home for four iconic college basketball programs on what is annually one of the biggest and the most fun and special events and nights on the college basketball calendar. The Hall of Famer Tom Izzo is leading the 3-0 Spartans into MSG. They are ranked 17th in the nation, and their opponent in the first game of this doubleheader, as you look at Jeremy Fears, averaging better than 9 assists per game on the young season. The Spartans' opponent tonight, Mark Pope and the Kentucky Wildcats. 3-1, a loss to Louisville, otherwise 3 lopsided wins. The preseason SEC Player of the Year, Oweh. It's the Cats and the Spartans in Game 1. Boy, is there electricity in this building right now.
What a way to tip off the college basketball season here with an energetic crowd. 4 blue blood programs.
Going all in, no limits.
It's going to be tooth and nail for the next 40 minutes.
Can you hear the people shouting out?
Michigan State has got a hard-nosed, hard-playing team.
Absolutely dominating this game.
Put this on record, we winning.
And here come the Cats.
Oh, my goodness.
It is hopping in here right now.
One big game after another.
Pull up 3. Yes!
Until I'm on top, I'ma keep climbing.
Boozer in transition.
Oh, give it to him. Oh, they rub him down in through country.
The lights are the brightest here in Madison Square Garden.
It's always fun when 2 programs of this magnitude get together. Welcome to the State Farm Champions Classic. A great scene, a great arena, a great crowd, and 4 great programs playing here tonight. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis will hear from Chris Budd momentarily. We told you a little bit about Game 1. Let's preview Game 2. Kansas and Duke coming up in the nightcap.
Well, Cam Boozer is the lead story for Duke, just coming off a 35-point game. There's really no individual matchup that he's not going to dominate, so he's going to have to see multiple bodies in this game. And for Kansas, without Darren Peterson, they're going to have to manufacture ways to score. So they're going to have to be the tougher team, protect the paint, get on the glass. And I think Trey White and Melvin Council Jr. have to have great games on the perimeter.
So settle in, that's Game 2. Now let's get back to Game 1. And let's start with Kentucky. Mark Pope took the job at his alma mater last year, put a whole new team together, had a great year, got to the Sweet 16 this year in his second year as the head coach of the Wildcats. With college basketball being the way it is right now, he's got a lot of new faces coming in again.
And most of them provide positional size and outstanding defense, especially Denzel Aberdeen, who's taken over at the point guard position. But Oweh had a great year last year after transferring in from Oklahoma, averages 16 points a game. This year he's been double figures in every game, but hasn't really gotten on track to be that SEC Player of the Year candidate that we've talked about. But he is certainly capable of it, and they're playing a Michigan State team that is really, really tough inside.
Well, let's talk about Tom Izzo's team. They like to get on the glass. Is that the key to their success if they're going to win the game tonight?
Well, key number 1 is they're going to have to stop transition, because Kentucky likes to pass advance, and they look for threes, those little drag screens in transition, so they're going to have to get back. They can't just buddy run down the court. But I think they're going to have to dominate the paint. You know, Michigan State hasn't shot the ball real well. They're only shooting 22% from 3. If they can make some shots, that would help. But if they don't make shots, they can really rebound the ball. And they want to run opportunistically. They're an excellent transition team as well.
These 2 teams are 2-2 against one another historically here in the Champions Classic. This is the 15th Champions Classic. The first one of them all back in 2011 was also in this building. Kentucky in the home whites. Mark Pope telling us this morning at shoot-around, Jay, he has never coached against Tom Izzo before, and he referred to the Hall of Famer as an icon and a Mount Rushmore type of figure in our sport.
Well, he's right. Tom Izzo is one of the greatest coaches in the history of American sport, not just basketball. And he's going to provide a toughness challenge for Kentucky. They lost to Louisville in an up-and-down game. This will not be the same tempo unless they can force it.
Kentucky is without one of their guards. The transfer from Pitt, Jalen Lowe, is going to miss his second consecutive game with a right shoulder injury. They still have a very deep team. Denzel Aberdeen will get the start of the point, but they are a man down without Lowe. We mentioned Chris Budden. She's standing by with the coaches.
I am. We'll start with you, Coach Izzo. You've worked with your team offensively. Where would you like to see the biggest improvement on that end of the court?
I'd like to make a few shots. You know, right now we haven't shot the ball very well, but we've done some other things pretty well, so I'd like to make a few shots and see if we can complete both ends.
We appreciate it. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Coach Pope, for you, you talked with your team about distractions this week. Now here you are in Madison Square Garden. How do you hope to see that message on display tonight?
Just our guys looking at each other, man. We're at home making sure we see each other's eyes, stay focused on each other and on our task.
Good luck tonight.
Hey.
Without fail, coaches love bringing their teams to this city, to this arena, to this kind of an environment, Jay, to play in this caliber of a game.
Well, outside of on-campus arenas, there's nothing like Madison Square Garden. It's a dream for every player and every coach to play in this arena. They don't call it the Mecca of college basketball for nothing. It is just a magnificent venue for the game.
Spartans on the court. Mark Pope taking a moment to diagram one last play or give one last thought to his team. And now here come the Wildcats. Our officials tonight: Pat Driscoll, Don Daly, Keith Kimball. And again, this is just the first of two here with the State Farm Champions Classic, happening a little bit later than it normally does. This game typically is about a week earlier than this, so these teams have a game or two more under their belt than they typically do when they meet in this event. And it'll be Kentucky controlling the opening tip with the aforementioned Denzel Aberdeen, the transfer from Florida, who at the moment is the leading scorer on this team.
He has been very aggressive offensively and has actually shown a ton of offense. But remember at Florida last year, great back cut by Chandler.
And he lays it in. Colin Chandler's off to a very nice start this season as well.
But Chandler is such an athletic player, and he can really shoot it. You better make him bounce it, because in 3 of their 4 games, he's made 4 threes at least.
The only quiet game of his was Kentucky's last one, as Michigan State goes right inside. Jackson Kohler, a pretty good look, but can't knock it down.
Got exactly what they wanted off that little low cross screen, guard to big, and hoping that Kentucky would switch it. Michigan State scripts out their first 4 plays. They try to get a tip play too, but to get the tip play, you have to win the tip, and they didn't.
Shot clock at 10. Aberdeen to Dioubate, who misses the 3. He is a terrific defender, gives an unbelievable effort, and is coming off his best game with 20 points and 11 rebounds last time out against Eastern Illinois.
We've got a foul on Kentucky on a box out. And this is an outstanding rebounding team yet again for Tom Izzo, out rebounding their opponents by 17. Usually we'd be talking about, you know, the strength of Michigan State being their guards, but this year the strength is their big guys, and their guards have to catch up.
And you can see Carson Cooper's got a little bandage on his right eyelid. That happened a couple of days ago in practice, but kind of reinforces the kind of physicality that Michigan State plays with. Taken away by Chandler as Cohen Carr turns it over. And Michigan State gets back quickly, but Chandler buries the 3, and he's got the first 5 points of the game.
Even that far out, you have to be right in his grill and make him dribble it. If he shoots it from the catch spot, he's going to drill it.
Cohen Carr gives it up on the wing to Trey Ford, a transfer from Samford with his 6th school, including a couple of junior colleges. Here's a 3 that'll go for Kohler. The big guy can step outside and knock him down.
Only shooting 25% from 3 right now, but Jackson Kohler is a good perimeter shooter with his feet set. He's averaging 13 rebounds a game.
Yeah, he's had 2 games already this year, 15 and 15, at least in points and in rebounds. Oweh on the baseline. Did not get a foul call, bothered by Carr. What a great matchup on the wing tonight. Oweh and Cohen Carr are going to be
2 powerful athletes, and there's not a higher jumper in the country than Cohen Carr.
Corner 3, and it'll go for Ford. As Jay mentioned, Michigan State came into the game shooting only 22% from 3, 13 for 60. They've already got 2 here tonight.
Well, seeing one go down early is helpful. And Fort can really stretch the floor. He hasn't been making them this year, but he can shoot it.
Good defense there, denying Brandon Garrison, and back come the Spartans.
Boy, when a shot goes up, Michigan State hits people. And their mantra is, when the shot goes up, hit first, find the ball, and fetch it. Hit, find, and fetch.
Yeah, and that was reinforced verbally by Tom Izzo on a number of occasions today at shoot-around. Carson Cooper got it back, missed again.
Came off so hard, he was able to get it twice below the waist.
Kohler draws a double and turns it over.
They went right away with the double team because I think Kentucky's more concerned about the inside guys scoring than they are in the perimeter. But a little slow in rotating over to Kohler. And similarly, when the ball went into the corner to Trey Fort, when you're able to get your feet set and you just have that late pressure, you got to make these guys put the ball on the deck.
At the point is Aberdeen to get a reserve with the national championship Florida Gators a year ago, but only a reserve because he was playing behind the best backcourt in the country. What a cut and a foul on Kohler. A nice feed by the freshman Malachi Moreno, who just checked into the game.
When that pass is thrown, you have to jump to the ball to take away the ball side of the cut. They did that, but Jeremy Fears got caught on the high side. And that was just a step and go and not enough pressure on the passer, so you could just deliver that easy one for a layup opportunity.
Aberdeen's been in double figures in all 4 games, averaging better than 15 per game. And again, in the absence of Jalen Lowe, what a luxury it is to have a player of his caliber. And it remains to be seen, do they play alongside one another, who starts, who comes off the bench. But this is a tremendously talented guy.
Very talented, and he's their best on-ball defender, and that's saying something because Oweh's on this roster as well.
There's Lowe missing another game with a right shoulder injury. No timetable given publicly. It is the 3rd game of 5 already this season that he is missing. Carr from the corner for 3, and all of a sudden the Spartans can't miss.
What was Tom Izzo moaning about before the game?
A total of 13 threes in their first 3 games. They've got 3 already tonight, but Oweh knocks one down from beyond the arc for the Cats.
It's good to see Oweh have that aggressive nature at the start of a game. Remember last year, he'd had some slow first halves, and then the second half, he's a double figures just about every game.
Yep.
Average 16 a game. But I think when he gets off to a great start, he's going to have an even better game.
Fears, the unquestioned quarterback of the Michigan State offense. Got the switch. Carr the kick. Kohler in the corner. Another one!
Well, you just can't help off ball side corner. It doesn't matter that Michigan State hasn't been shooting it well. That's just, I think that's a cardinal sin in basketball. You don't help off ball side corner.
They are 4 for 5 from 3-point range. Dioubate. Air ball.
Well, they didn't make Michigan State guard at all.
Carr flying to the basket, too strong, and back comes Chandler.
Didn't get a call there because it was offense-initiated contact.
And I know Michigan State and Big Ten fans know this, but for those who don't, Cohen Carr, one of the spectacular athletes in the college game. Aberdeen has it knocked away. The lob. And a good defensive play by Dioubate to disrupt it. He went flying out of bounds.
And took out our cameraman.
Aberdeen open. Got it.
I thought our camera guy was set under there. That was
absolutely. Maybe in the restricted arc.
Excellent defensive positioning.
Yep. Gave up his body for the greater good. Fort. And Moreno down with a rebound for Kentucky. A 7-foot freshman from Georgetown, Kentucky.
Good back cut.
And another good pass by Moreno, and it's another basket for Chandler.
Boy, they're getting cut up on these back cuts. Part of the reason is pressure on the ball. You really have to get up and pressure Moreno there and make him dribble it.
Kentucky by 3, a fast-paced and high-scoring opening few minutes, and now it's Kohler on the drive.
Boy, how tough is Jackson Kohler? A senior now from Utah. He can face up. He's a good passer. We've already seen he can knock down a 3, and his footwork down in the low post is impeccable.
He's averaging 14 a game. He's got 8 already in this one. Another good cut and feed, but Moreno left it short. Back comes Michigan State, led by Fears. And he lost it. Aberdeen got a piece of it.
Well, he timed that out so well on the Euro.
Oweh to Dioubate, Kentucky by 3.
Right now, this is Kentucky's pace.
Denzel Aberdeen had the biggest smile on his face coming back down on defense. He is having a good time tonight. A miss from the wing by Fort. Out of bounds. It will be Kentucky ball, and after a long stretch of up and down, back and forth action, a media timeout. What a great start, Jay, in this game.
Well, Kentucky has done a good job on the defensive end. That was a problem against Louisville. It is not against Michigan State. .46. Well, not only are we having fun, or the players having fun, the mascots having some fun here in New York City. They took some time out to visit Top of the Rock observation deck at Rockefeller Center, went to Times Square, Grand Central, and other of the must-see spots here in the Big Apple. I would imagine the worst part about being a mascot has got to be the smell inside of those things.
We could ask him, but he doesn't say much. We've tried to engage him in conversation. He's the strong silent type. Great start. 17-14 Kentucky. Michigan State's got 4 threes already. Again, had made only 13 in 3 games coming in. Their high in any game is 6, and they've already got 4. This is welcome, to say the least, for Tom Izzo. They have missed their last 2.
It'll be interesting to see how Michigan State handles these post doubles that Kentucky's thrown on, because a couple of those doubles have come off the ball side, and you can kick it back out. It's tough to rotate there. You can kick it back out to the 3-point line and get a step-in 3. They got it on. They missed it, but they had a wide open 3 off the last double just before we went to the timeout.
Both coaches made a number of substitutions after that frenetic pace for several minutes.
Got to get it in.
They get it in to Moreno, who turns it over. Kerr Tang has checked in for Michigan State, a sophomore, and a great pickoff there by him. This is the freshman Jordan Scott, 6'8", out of Reston, Virginia. Tang in the corner. Their 5th 3 of the game.
Well, Kerr Tang was the leading 3-point shooter for Michigan State coming into this game, shooting 40%. He had made 4. That was all they had as their top shooter, shooting only 22% from deep.
Oweh steps in, misses the long 2, and Divine Ugachukwu down with it for Michigan State. Was with Miami, the Hurricanes, last year. He's the backup point guard right now to Fears. Kohler very active in the early going. Tang to Scott. Now Cam Ward, a freshman from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and a really good-looking young player who's off to a good start.
Well, he had a fantastic game against Arkansas, 18 points and 10 rebounds. He was just a beast on the glass.
Boy, Chandler thought about it, hesitated a bit, then took it. The 3 around and out, and back come the Spartans with a 2-point lead.
Boy, every time a shot goes up when Michigan State's on defense, there are 5 Spartans going hard to the defensive glass.
If you don't want to rebound, don't go to East Lansing. You picked the wrong program.
Well, you can go there, but you won't last very long.
Ward the drive, and a block by Moreno. It'll be Michigan State ball when we come back. 8:27 into this one. Michigan State leads by 2 as they continue to knock down 3-pointers.
Well, Kerr Tang comes into the ball game, starts on the left corner, just a baseline runner, got a screen, and Chandler had to go all the way around just too late, and he drills it. Well, Michigan State has started out this game hot from 3-point range. 5 of 8 early in this first half for the Spartans, the team that everybody said couldn't shoot. But the one common denominator that you see in these made threes is you don't have to put the ball on the deck. Feet are set and plenty of time. And Kentucky's going to have to do a better job closing out the shooters, being there on the catch. And not all of these have come off those post doubles. They've come off of ball movement, ball reversals. You got to have that stick hand there and force the shooter to put the ball on the ground. You can't allow those catch and shoot threes with that much time.
And it's not like Kentucky's performing poorly at the offensive end. They are 3 for 6 from three-point range, and they've got an assist on every one of their 6 made field goals. And a foul, I think they got Garrison, as Cooper tried to elevate for the slam.
Garrison was like a defensive back that never turned his head for the ball. Just that middle ball screen action, and Carson Cooper does a really good job of just rolling hard to the basket. And if you're going to take that away, you have 2 hands on him, that's going to be a foul.
Jeremy Fears Jr. returns. Looks like Carson Cooper not only brought a cut on his eyelid into the game, but now he's cut on his lip as well.
Well, Michigan State has a great cut man.
Cooper in the post.
He took the double off.
Left hand, and it goes.
Now that's the question that Kentucky's going to have to wrestle with. Are they going to double in the post and open up threes when Michigan State is shooting so well? Or are they going to let Cooper and Jackson Kohler go one-on-one in the post, where they can be very difficult to deal with?
Cooper, in his 4th year in the program, getting better and better every year, averaged 5 points per game as a junior. It's very early, but he's at 12 points per game so far this season. This is Andrea Jelovic in off the bench a couple of minutes ago for Kentucky. He's from Croatia. Has played professionally in the ABA, the Adriatic Basketball Association.
Well, that was good defense by Cam Ward to force that turnaround jumper. That was around the free throw line, fading away. That's a low percentage shot that he forced Jelovic into.
And Tang gets a very clean look from 15 feet out and knocks it down. It's a 9-0 run to Michigan State.
Boy, give Michigan State credit, but Kentucky's got to be stronger on the ball. Their defense has not impacted Michigan State in the last several sequences over this 9-0 run. So one-on-one in the post, and Cooper looks into the middle, see if a double's coming, and then he knows he's one-on-one in the post, and he's able to make a post move, and he can shoot that little jump hook with his right or his left hand. And Tang gets right in the middle. He's got a very good mid-range game. He's a good three-point shooter, but his mid-range game is good.
This is the toughest test so far this year for Michigan State, although they do have a win over Arkansas. 3-point win, 69-66, in a game in which, if you can believe it, they only made 1 3 and won the game. Kentucky has had 3 lopsided wins and then a loss at Louisville, a game that you and I had last week. A very fun game between 2 teams who look like they're both going to have very good years.
Boy, Louisville's guards are legit. Michael Brown Jr., Ryan Conwell, those guys can score at will.
Shot fake Cohen Carr. Knocked out of bounds by Garrison. Still Spartans ball with 7 on the shot clock.
Michigan State traditionally is very good on out-of-bounds underplays, and this is an unusual place from which to inbound it. Not near the backboard, but further out toward the corner.
It'll be Fears, their point guard, to try to find somebody through the legs of Cooper and out of bounds.
They tried to catch Cooper on the slip, but that was not the best angle, largely because of where it was being inbounded from.
How many times over the years have we seen that look on the face of Tom Izzo as he watches his players perform? For Izzo, this is his 31st season as the head coach at East Lansing.
Remarkably consistent excellence from Tom Izzo in Michigan State.
A deep one for Cam Williams, a transfer from Tulane. He can't find the range.
And it's 1 and out for Kentucky because of Michigan State's defensive rebounding.
Tang for 3. And a battle for the rebound. A foul is called. And it is going against Cam Ward of Michigan State.
And Tom Izzo with his arms out saying, wait a minute, they both had the ball. I mean, there wasn't any over the back there. In fact, Ward had inside position. I'm not sure I understand that call. That was just rebounding.
Tom Izzo pleading his case with Don Daly, one of the officials here tonight. Michigan State by 6. 11 minutes into the first half here in game one of the State Farm Champions Classic. Oweh baseline. Knocks down the jumper.
That's the aggressiveness that Kentucky needs to see from Oweh. He's got to start taking over.
Their leading scorer a season ago at better than 16 points per game. Fears swings it to Kohler. Now Carr.
Open side pick and roll. Got the switch.
Kohler turns it over. Just threw it right to Aberdeen.
Yeah, he just needed to take on that one-on-one in the post and force the double. If not, just take it.
Aberdeen gets to the elbow, finds Dioubate. Tries to run down his own miss, but it's Michigan State ball again. Boy, Spartans are getting up the court in a hurry, and it's Jesse McCullough, a redshirt freshman from Cleveland, to lay it in.
Boy, what a good pass. Threw it away from the defense so that only McCullough could catch it, and it was a good catch.
Some good options at the two big spots for Tom Izzo. Even behind Kohler and Cooper, he's got Ward, he's got McCullough, and Jay's got a 6-point lead right now on the Wildcats.
Michigan State's physicality is having an effect on Kentucky. Michigan State has been stronger. They have been more physical, and a good pass against a difficult matchup for Aberdeen.
Let's take a look at tonight's Wooden Watch, presented by Principal. Here are Wooden Award winners who won the award in the season in which they played in the Champions Classic. Anthony Davis, Frank Mason III, Zion Williamson, Oscar Tshiebwe, and then just last year, Cooper Flagg. You've got programs of this nature, players of that caliber, and you're going to have some guys who go on to win national awards, become first overall picks, lottery picks, and the same going to be said about this group. This is a very talented group that these four teams have this year. We'll talk more about that during the Duke-Kansas game in the nightcap. Right now, it's Michigan State, and they're kind of getting Tom Izzo's getting the best of both worlds. He's getting the physicality and the tough defense and the rebounding, and they're also making shots.
They are making shots, 5 of 9 from 3. But they're dominating the glass. It's 14-6 in rebounds, and Kentucky hasn't had a single offensive rebound in this game.
And they've missed 11 shots. The Spartans have gathered in all 11 rebounds on the defensive end. McCullough wide open. And another three, and the 6th of the game for Michigan State. And that matches the most they've had in an entire game so far this year.
After McCullough hit that, I think that's where Mark Pope turns around to his staff and said, which one of you guys scouted this game? Who said they couldn't shoot?
Chandler's short on the corner three. And McCullough a rebound, giving Tom Izzo some very good minutes.
Kentucky's got to find a way to get the ball to the other side of the floor.
Another one. This time it's Trey Ford, and Mark Pope has seen about enough. It is a 17-2 run right now for the Spartans, lighting it up from the perimeter.
Tom Izzo told Chris Button before the game he'd like his team to make some shots. Wish granted. Everybody, hand down, man down. Michigan State is scorching the nets in the Garden.
No Darren Peterson, one of the best freshmen, one of the best players in the nation, is out with an injury tonight, a hamstring problem that will cost him his 3rd consecutive game, and that's going to make a challenging task even more challenging for the Jayhawks.
And the biggest challenge that Kansas is going to have is who matches up with and guards Cameron Boozer, who is having a spectacular start to his freshman year. He's got National Player of the Year ability.
He is coming off a 35-point, 12-rebound, 5 assist, 3 steal, 3 block game against Indiana State. That is stuffing the stat sheet.
Well, that was the first offensive rebound for Kentucky in this game.
Carr, and is fouled in transition. He is so tough to corral once he gets going.
Especially when he gets a run-up. With a run-up to the basket, Cohen Carr has a 50-inch vertical. And usually he's running up to the basket.
He has had some ferocious dunks already early this season and obviously over the course of his career. Hey, don't forget, coming up next at halftime, or Reese and the College Game Day crew will have the exclusive reveal of the latest college football playoff top 25 rankings. That will come between games tonight. They'll break them down from top to bottom. I have coaches' reactions as well as a live interview with committee chair Mac Rhodes, and they will also project the 12-team field. Joey Galloway and Greg McElroy, of course, will be with RD. Aberdeen gets a piece of the pain and draws the foul.
One of the things, Dan, that Kentucky's had some struggles with is they've been launching up the first available shot. And I think they're going to need to move the ball a little bit more when they're in half-court situations, try to get a ball reversal and then attack. Because if you don't, this Michigan State help side defense is so good. If you don't move it by moving the ball, you're going against a set defense and you're seeing nothing but green when you put the ball on the floor.
Aberdeen hits them both, but it is still an 11-point game. Fears tries to go all the way, and he succeeds.
No help side at all. That was just a drive from the top. Too easy.
And you talked about the first available shot. Aberdeen takes the three just about 4 or 5 seconds after they got the ball at the other end.
Well, they're not making Michigan State guard, and as a result, they're not putting the Spartans in a position to foul at all.
Carr with a 16-footer, and Moreno the rebound for the Wildcats.
Good job by Michigan State getting back in transition after that rebound.
Chandler, a beautiful feed. Moreno is fouled by Cohen Carr, and you can tell from his reaction he thought he got all ball.
It looked like Cohen Carr got it clean up top, but there might have been contact a little bit earlier. Well, he got him with the body, but he did go pretty much straight up. That's a tough one.
And then you saw a lot of that 50-inch vertical right there in the defensive end from Carr, but he's called for the foul, his first. And Tom Izzo definitely is questioning something. He is talking to Pat Driscoll, who's the lead official in this game. And they may be confirming who should have been given the foul. And you hear the whistle blow, and the officials trying to usher the players back onto the court.
And the only real contact was Cohen Carr.
Did they change it? They have changed it, so maybe we can get another look at it. It looks like Jesse McCullough has now been given the foul, so maybe there was some body down low from him.
That or a reach in, that's all you can.
That may have been what Tom Izzo was arguing. Oh, there it is there. So maybe the swipe by McCullough kind of over the back of the head.
But he didn't touch his head at all.
McCullough will sit. He gave Michigan State very good minutes, and here comes Cam Ward. Haven't talked a lot about him. You said Upper Marlboro, Maryland, two-time state champion, the great game against Arkansas. And Tom Izzo was saying to him at shoot-around today, hey, you're big and strong. Be physical with these guys. Go hit somebody. He wants him to play Michigan State basketball.
And Cam Ward has great rebounding instincts as well. Maryland's all-time leading scorer in public schools. Good pass.
Shot fake Kohler. Step in, jumper. They're making them all right now.
Right now, Michigan State is playing with great patience and poise. And they're not being forced into anything. They're dictating the action on both ends of the floor. Jackson Kohler catches the ball in this little throwback action, just a little pick and pop. And a nice shot fake, and just leisurely steps in for that little mid-range jumper. Lifts his eyebrows up. Moreno's gone. But Michigan State's playing at exactly the tempo they want in the half court. And they've actually sped up, I think, Kentucky in their half court. They've taken away any transition, no offensive rebounding chances at all.
And Mark Pope continues to make substitutions, trying to find a group that will click. He's got 4 players in off his bench right now, including Jasper Johnson. Trent Noah is on the floor, along with Malachi Moreno, Cam Williams, and 1 starter in Colin Chandler. Ford elevates for a 3. Tipped. Carr has it, and a fresh 20 for the Spartans.
Boy, how about Cam Ward keeping that ball alive? Now we'll watch the post moves of Kohler.
Boy, no back down there from Kohler, despite the size of Moreno.
Always going to look middle and try to get to the middle and then make a move based on how he's being guarded.
He's got a dozen. It's the biggest lead of the game for Michigan State. Williams answers with a much-needed 3 for Kentucky.
Just getting a post touch that collapsed the defense allows you to look opposite. Trey Ford had Jackson Kohler in the post, but he picked up his dribble.
Ugachukwu, it rattles out, and Noah down with a rebound for Kentucky. This is Johnson, top 20 recruit, a freshman out of Lexington. Williams with an air ball from the wing. Another quick shot.
Just frenzied offensively right now for Kentucky.
You wouldn't think Kentucky could get sped up. You'd think they'd want to speed them up. It's a 2 for Ford, and the lead continues to grow.
That quick shot meant Kentucky couldn't get organized on defense. Just a little ball screen. There was nobody there to cover it. I mean, that was about as easy as it gets coming off that screen for a little pull-up jumper.
Johnson, a contested 3. It's short. Offensive rebound, though, for Noah, and he's fouled.
Or the shot selection for Kentucky. That's something the Wildcats are going to have to talk about, not just at this timeout, but at halftime.
Not only are they knocking down 3-pointers, Michigan State is also asserting itself on the inside. Jackson Kohler going right at the 7-footer into Moreno and laying it in. Coming up on the Jeep halftime report, a breakdown of the first half of this one, and then a look ahead to game 2 tonight between Duke and Kansas. Cameron Boozer off to a sensational start, and again, no Darren Peterson for Kansas. Chris Budden is alongside Andrea Carter.
Yeah, Andrea's going to join the boys at halftime when we talk with Tom Izzo. He just wanted a couple shots to fall. That certainly hasn't been the problem. What have you seen out of the Michigan State offense?
Yeah, Tom Izzo has gotten all of that and more. They're making shots, but they also have a high shot quality. The way that they're playing together, the patience on the offensive end. 7 threes is absolutely unheard of from this Michigan State team. Give them all the credit.
We'll see you at halftime.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, guys.
Chris, Andrea, thank you. Also, of course, Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, Jay Will. And they've got a lot to talk about. Tom Izzo's got a lot to be happy about through the first 16:52 of this game.
Well, Michigan State's just been tougher. They've been more physical. They're running their offense like they're in a shoot-around. You know, kind of getting into their scouting report, because Kentucky's put very little pressure on them. They haven't guarded ball screens well. Their help side hadn't been set.
Trent Noah misses the front end of a 1-and-1. Tang off the screen, and that's kicked out of bounds by Cam Williams.
Michigan State does such a good job of getting into open side. Sometimes it's ball screen action, other times it's a little pin down, and it's so difficult for Kentucky in help situations in those actions.
Cooper to inbound with 20 on the shot clock, and out to Fears. Ward's got a size advantage on Noah. Instead tries to thread the needle into Cooper, but the pass goes out of bounds.
Well, just a little on big screen there to get Cooper down into the low post. If Cam Ward takes one dribble, he has the angle to get the ball inside. Now, Tom Izzo thought that Cooper was getting grabbed there, and he's probably right. But physicality is going to be a big part of this game, and it has been in favor of Michigan State.
Aberdeen driving baseline, gets into the paint and draws the foul.
And that's what Kentucky needs to do more of, is get a piece of the paint, then they can play out of that. But they haven't really put Michigan State in a position to foul as much as they needed to in this first half, and that's got to change in the second half.
Aberdeen 2 shots. Here's this week's featured ESPN women's college basketball matchup. It'll be number 11 USC against number 24 Notre Dame, Friday at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, and also available on the all-new ESPN app. How about the incomparable Hannah Hidalgo, averaging almost 29 points per game and better than 6 steals per game as well.
Well, she had 16 steals in one game against Akron. I've never heard of a stat like that, even in high school.
Tang in the corner. Jordan Scott has returned for Michigan State.
I thought Michigan State was going to be able to go high-low there, but Cam Ward didn't duck in.
A better defensive stand here by Kentucky, but it ends in a foul that Mark Pope does not agree with.
Well, Mark Pope thought that that contact was initiated by Jeremy Fears. Now the question is, did his arms come down? Well, he went up right into his left arm as it was down a bit. That's a tough one.
And Fears will knock down the first for the Spartans. Aberdeen picks up his second.
This is a really important 2-minute stretch to end this first half. Can Kentucky get a couple of stops and a couple of scores to eat into this lead and make it a little more manageable coming out in the second half?
Jasper Johnson, the freshman, playing alongside Aberdeen in the backcourt right now. And boy, they are struggling to really get into something, giving them any kind of fluidity right now. Oweh will miss the 3, but they never really felt like they were getting towards anything on that possession. Just a lot of side to side.
Well, Michigan State has been excellent in their half-court defense. Their help side has really loaded up on Kentucky, and Kurt Tang just out-battled Brandon Garrison for that offensive rebound.
Here's the handoff. Tang for 3. And the rebound to Oweh. Spartans hustling back in transition, and they match up. Garrison has a mismatch inside. He wants the ball. Instead, it's Oweh on the drive, and Cooper got a piece of it.
Well, he got past Carson Cooper, but he recovered to get a piece of that ball and knock it off the backboard. That's a great defensive play on a difficult matchup for Carson Cooper.
And the guy applauding the most as the timeout was called was head coach Tom Izzo, high-fiving his players as they came off the court.
Carson Cooper came back down in transition. He had to pick up Otega Oweh and did a good job of stopping the ball initially. But then he's got to deal. You got Jeremy Fears Jr. trying to guard inside. And he just down the lane, angling Otega Oweh so he couldn't get his shoulders past him. And then he's able to recover and block that shot, at least bother it. But he blocked it. That's just a great defensive play in a difficult matchup for the senior, Carson Cooper.
The largest deficit in this game for Kentucky has been 16. They are down 15 right now. Michigan State excelling from beyond the arc. The way they're playing defense with the physicality, they're really kind of winning all aspects of this game right now.
Well, remember against Louisville, Kentucky was down 20 to the Cardinals in the Yum Center and still came back in the second half and had a chance to win.
They have the personnel, even without Jalen Lowe, to be an explosive offensive team.
No question, but there's got to be better shots, and they're going to have to handle Michigan State's physicality a lot better in the second half than they have in the first half, because it's been all Spartans in this first 20 minutes.
Final minute of the first half. Fears turns the corner. Blocked by Chandler.
What an athletic play after stopping the ball to get up in the air and block that shot.
Johnson left the runner a little bit short, and Kohler's got another rebound, his 4th.
Remember, Michigan State has the arrow, so outside of a tie-up, they'll get the ball to start the second half.
Ball screen, Kohler. Fears draws a couple. Finds Tang. Tang gets inside. And we got a foul underneath going against the Wildcats. I think it's Chandler.
Boy, that drive came right down the slot. And Tang was able to get all the way to the basket. And that opens up the offensive glass for Jackson Kohler. Went after it with two hands and drew the foul.
Just number 6, so no free throws. About a 4.5-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
The horn set.
Fears. Tang. 2 on the shot clock. Got it off. Hits. The call on the floor is the basket is good. That he did beat the shot clock. They will have a look.
Kentucky had one of its better defensive exchanges on that out of bounds underneath. And still Kurt Tang was able to nail a really difficult shot along the baseline. The question is, did he get it off? And he looks like he did. Boy, that's a tough angle. I mean, he's going out of bounds. Yeah, he got that thing off.
Kurt Tang, Jay, has a chance tonight to surpass this season.
Review, basket is good.
Basket is good.
6 on the game clock.
He's got a chance to surpass the number of total minutes he played last year in the first 4 games of the season, depending on how many he plays tonight. He clearly is going to be a bigger part of this team. And obviously last year, remember, they had Jaden Akins and Jace Richardson, and some very good players have moved on. And that 2-guard spot, if you will, is kind of the up for grab spot in the starting lineup for the Spartans.
What's that? We heard it, yeah.
Largest lead of the game for the Spartans. 2.6 seconds remaining in the half.
Smart to put a big guy on the ball.
Dioubate from 40 feet. And the first half, where just about everything Tom Izzo could have asked for happened here at the Garden. They have a commanding 17-point lead on Kentucky 20 minutes in. Chris Budden is with Tom Izzo.
Coach, you told me a tip. You just want to see some shots fall. You got your wish. What's allowed for the offensive production?
Well, you know, the funny thing is, I didn't think we defended very well. They missed some good shots, but we made shots. When you make shots, you feel better.
Kentucky's a team that can put up some points in a hurry, possibly in the second half. What will be important for you defensively?
Well, that we keep doing the thing, not giving up the threes. We got to do a better job on the ball screens. The slips are hurting us, but the slips are 2 points compared to the threes, which they really like. So we got to do a little better job on the ball screens, a little better job on the slips, take care of the ball.
Thank you, Coach.
A great half, but ask any coach, there's no such thing as a perfect half of basketball. Still some things to work on in the mind of Tom Izzo, but again, a lot to be happy about. Inside and outside, they dominated the Wildcats, and they are up 17 at the half. Stay tuned for Reese, Andrea, Jay, Will, and Seth, the Jeep halftime report after these messages.
They're not going to shut him out, for crying out loud.
Welcome back to the State Farm Champions Classic. What a first half for the Spartans. What a first half for Jackson Kohler. The senior from American Fork, Utah, is the high scorer in the game. He's got a dozen right now, and the Spartans have a 17-point lead on Kentucky. Welcome you back inside Madison Square Garden. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. Again, Tom Izzo's got to be so pleased with what his team did.
Michigan State was more physical in the first half. They were better on the glass. They were certainly better defensively, and they ran their offense with pace at their pace. And Kentucky wasn't able to impact that. Yep. And that's got to change for the Wildcats in the second half. They've got to be more physical, more aggressive, and they've got to take better shots. I thought Kentucky's shot selection in the first half was really questionable. A lot of quick shots, a lot of quick threes, didn't give them the chance to rebound those at all, and Michigan State took advantage.
Let's talk about Michigan State's shot selection as we see who has the secret sauce tonight, served up by Kinders.
Well, Michigan State was moving the ball early, and because Kentucky was protecting the paint, trying to recover late to shooters. Michigan State got a lot of catch and shoot threes, and they drilled them in that first half and really started spreading out this Kentucky defense. That opened up inside. Kentucky was doubling the post early, and then they had to take that off because they got to get out to shooters, because Michigan State went from shooting 22% for the season to shooting over 50% from three in that first half.
Chris Budden just spoke with Mark Pope. Let's see how he was feeling about things.
It was pretty much everything that Jay said, because it starts with competitiveness. He says we can't get anything if we don't show that competitive spirit. If we can do that, add in some physicality, we should be able to get some better looks on the offensive end.
Long way to go. A potentially potent offensive team. You mentioned how they made a run at Louisville late in that game, although they fell short. These two teams, again, 2-2 against one another in the Champions Classic. Overall, in the first 14 years of the event, Kentucky 6-8, Michigan State 5-9. And let's see how the Spartans come out. They get the first possession of the second half and right to Kohler. The swing to Fears. Cut off on the baseline. 6 on the shot clock as Ford is bumped by Colin Chandler.
Chandler was trying to keep Ford from turning the corner with that left-hand drive and winds up picking up the foul late in a clock. All you have to do is angle him out toward the corner.
And Colin Chandler, who's a very important part of this Kentucky team, just picked up his third. Kohler. Hand off to Ford. Carr somehow caught it but couldn't finish it over Oweh, but it'll stay with the Spartans.
Little zoom action. I don't know how that pass even got through there. And that's a question for Kentucky, is how do you let that get through there? You got to have active hands, deflect that, knock it away.
And another foul, this one on Garrison.
Garrison just too slow getting up to the line of the ball. You want to be connected to the screener there. And Fears just able to turn the corner, get right into his body to pick up that foul.
So 2 team fouls in the first 41 seconds of the second half on the Wildcats.
And right into a little horns action.
Ford can't hit it off the back of the iron, and the rebound down to Garrison. And Kentucky with its first possession, and Oweh will slam it in.
Get a stop. And Oweh running the floor in Kentucky. That's really one of the very few transition baskets that Kentucky has in this game. But it all started by getting a stop and a two-handed rebound.
A lot of contact down low between Kohler and Dioubate. Kohler can't finish it. It's off Cooper. Back to Kentucky.
Well, Kohler missed it, but what a terrific job turning away from that double team. But this is a very good pass-ahead transition team, and Michigan State able to take that away from Kentucky in the first half. But a good sign that Kentucky's able to get something easy in transition off getting a stop.
They are getting virtually no offense from their big guys. Cooper and Kohler and the other bigs for Michigan State are dominating the Kentucky bigs right now. And there's another example. Oh, up top, Colin Carr.
You can throw that as high as you want to, and Cohen Carr can go get it. Not a better, more exciting dunker in the game.
Oweh's 3 won't go down. Here's Carr again. Oweh slows him down. Carr for 3. Much more of a slasher and a finisher than a long-range shooter. Here's Chandler with a little stop and go. Keeps the dribble alive. Dioubate is fouled.
Well, Cohen Carr, once he starts running that left-hand lane, he was a bullet going down the floor. And look how high he gets up, and that's not as high as he can get up. And Michigan State's had some amazing dunkers over Tom Izzo's tenure, even before that. I mean, Greg Kelser was a heck of a dunker for Judd Heathcote, but nobody's gotten as high, in my view, as Cohen Carr.
Carr stays in front of Oweh. Garrison gets the bounce. First points of the night for Brandon Garrison.
Kentucky getting a post touchdown in the low post. We haven't seen much of that.
Fears. Well done. Good patience and knocks down the 10-footer.
Boy, Cooper does such a good job in that handoff action. He pivoted right into the defense trying to trail Jeremy Fears, able to drop it off to him. That's really well done by Carson Cooper.
Kind of an underappreciated aspect maybe of the Michigan State offense, the passing ability of the Bigs.
Yes.
Fourth. And another basket in transition. This time it's Kohler.
Michigan State is just cutting up Kentucky's defense.
Largest lead of the night for the Spartans. Chandler doubled in the corner. Dioubate fouled on the drive.
We saw the athleticism from Cohen Carr. Just how high can he jump? The vertical posted at 51.5. To do the jump, they had to put the measuring stick already on a foot higher than they would normally do it for everyone else. This is him over the summer, just breaking the backboard. 51.5 vertical leap.
Well, Chris, he is one of 20 preseason candidates for the Julius Erving Award as the best small forward in the nation. And he's got a little Dr. J in his hops, doesn't he?
It is just superhuman to watch him take off, and especially when it's on the run. He ought to wear a mouth guard to protect himself from the rim.
At the line for Kentucky, Dioubate, the transfer from Alabama, and a native of Queens, New York, right here in New York City. Got a lot of family in the house tonight. So Michigan State getting up the floor quickly, really putting the pressure on Kentucky to get back. Cooper going up there with bad intentions, but he had to reject it. And then Fears playing safety knocks it away.
Boy, what a block by Dioubate, but a poor decision. A great pass.
Ward with an outstanding feed to Cooper.
And Colin Chandler showing his athleticism in blocking that shot and basically getting a tie-up up top. That's a big-time basket-saving play off a great pass. Beautiful drop pass by Ward, and that's a bucket saver right there from Colin Chandler.
Does look like the correct call, right?
Yeah.
It didn't appear, at least from that angle, we couldn't see any contact.
And Cooper maintained the ball the whole time, so it had to be a tie-up.
Dioubate scoops it up, and somehow that goes in.
Always trying to get back to that left hand. And not settling for jumpers in this second half, but still trailing by 15. A flex action.
Cooper fouled. Did they get Chandler?
They did.
If it's Chandler, it's 4. It's Chandler.
Well, instead of just going and putting your body in there with hands up, he just swiped right across his arm to pick up that 4th foul.
So that's big news, but so was this. How about one more look at Cohen Carr defying gravity here in New York City? Gravity. Game 2 tonight, Kansas and Duke, and you are looking at Cameron Abuser, who is off to an unbelievable start in the early part of his freshman season at Duke. He will lead the Blue Devils against the Jayhawks here inside MSG. And Paul Rudd is in the house. He's a KU grad studying theater at Kansas, and he's got a front row seat for the second game, or for the rest of this one, in the second game here at the State Farm Champions Classic.
Kansas has produced some great comedians. Jason Sudeikis, Rob Riggle, Paul Rudd. Impressive. Even better than Canada.
Yeah. Don't go there.
Oh, those are fighting words, apparently.
Yeah, don't go there. I got Mike Myers on line 2 in a heartbeat. Oh, down goes Fears. Noah ahead to Dioubate for the flush.
Oh, what a great read of that long pass by Dioubate, just to get a finger on it and be able to take it the other way.
Lots of time left. They were down 17 at the half, down 13 now. Nearly another turnover.
Well, Kentucky now trying to make every catch difficult, even those elbow catches, really starting to contest them.
Tang lost it, but it's still Spartans' ball.
On this last couple possessions, Kentucky is showing signs of dictating action on the defensive end, which they did not do in the first 25 minutes.
And Pat Driscoll trying to make sure things don't get too heated between Aberdeen and Fears.
Come on, guys, let's just be friends. We can do that after. Fake.
And then steps back for the 3 and hits it.
That's a big time shot fake by Tang. This is the best he's played all season.
10 points now for Tang.
I think Oweh's got to take on Jordan Scott in this matchup. He's got a freshman guarding him.
Aberdeen trying to back down Fears. Fears stood his ground, and Aberdeen airmailed it into the seats.
Well, that fan in the third row was open. What a beautiful shot fake off the skip pass by Tang. Oweh flies by, he just waltzes into that jump shot. Beautiful.
Cooper a little bit strong. He can hit that mid-range J. Noah down with the rebound, and Scott was battling him for it.
Scott was the one that got fouled there.
Yeah,
it looked like to
Noah. Yeah,
because he had the ball first and got fouled. Like he's just got a nose for the basketball. He really gets after the glass. He may be thin, but he's athletic, and he can really chase down the ball.
Wouldn't be surprising to see his role grow over the course of the season.
No question. He's talented.
This is him.
Good bump back into the corner.
Threw it off the foot of Aberdeen, and now it's a 2-on-1 with Noah.
Oh.
And again, Fears makes a great defensive play.
And just a bad decision in transition. Noah should have taken it all the way.
Tang with a corner 3, and what a swing that is for the Spartans.
A 5-point turnaround in transition. Bad decision leads to an open 3 on the other end.
Yelovich, who was not much of a factor at all in the first half, misses the 3, but Malachi Moreno, who did give Mark Pope some good minutes in the opening 20 minutes, lays in the rebound.
Just wedged in Carson Cooper on the weak side. You have a shot from the right, it's most likely to come off to the left.
Ward the handoff. Tang has looked very aggressive all night long. Fears turns the corner. Ward inside. And a held ball is the call, with the possession arrow favoring Michigan State, and Ward probably unhappy with himself that he didn't finish it the first time.
Trevor Noah has an angle to the basket, throws it backwards instead of just taking it to the rim. He had the angle to finish it either off 1 or 2 feet, and that leads to a wide open jumper in transition. 2 off the board for Kentucky and 3 for Michigan State as a result.
Divine Ugochukwu is in now at the point for Michigan State. Here's Tang, who's already got a career-high 13 tonight, the sophomore from Manchester, New Hampshire.
It seems like Michigan State's getting a ball reversal every time they're in the half court, and that's putting a lot of pressure on this Kentucky defense.
And a foul called on Scott.
Even though there was a foul, whenever there's a drive, Michigan State is showing a lot of bodies to the driver, especially Oweh. You have to show him a ton of bodies and make him play in a crowd. You give him a straight line drive, he's going to score, get fouled, or both.
Oweh at the line for a couple for the Cats. Tomorrow night's ESPN NBA doubleheader features the Rockets and the Cavs beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and then it's the Knicks and the Mavericks at 9:30 Eastern time. The NBA Countdown crew will tip off our coverage at 6:30 Eastern. Cleveland having a great year, beat Milwaukee last night. We saw Donovan Mitchell last week in Louisville.
And he had a good time at that game because Louisville rolled against Kentucky in that game. You see Cooper Flagg, last year's National Player of the Year, the first pick in the NBA draft of the Dallas Mavericks. He's off to a great start in his rookie year, having to play the point for Jason Kidd. One-on-one in the post for Kohler.
He kicks it out to Ugachukwu, and nobody gets in his way as he goes uncontested to the basket.
No closeout, didn't take away the drive, and because it's in the middle of the floor, nobody there for weak side rim protection.
Kind of thing that'll make a coach crazy. Johnson.
Doesn't do much for fans either.
Give and go, and it works, and a chance for three for Jasper Johnson.
You know, all that off a post touch, which we haven't seen much out of Kentucky. They haven't been able to punch the lane much. You know, Michigan State's been packing it in and staying in front. But that post touch, and Ugachukwu just didn't do a good job of getting into the body of Jasper Johnson. Just let him get all the way down. Just not enough pressure on that pass. Beautifully executed.
And if Jalen Lowe is out for a while, Jasper Johnson becomes even more important. A very talented freshman guard. Can score, can pass, had 7 assists in their last game, the win over Eastern Illinois. They need good minutes from Johnson.
Yeah, and he's leading this team in assists.
We asked Mark Pope about it at shoot-around, and right away he said he had the ball for 198 seconds in the last game and made 37 passes. That was our best ratio. Mark Pope is digging into the numbers. Tom Izzo's going to like what the numbers are showing so far. In this one, though, Michigan State continues to lead. Divine Ugachukwu for the easy 2.
And now we hear from the Billustrator, the man who thinks he invented the game. And the shot fake has been a key for Michigan State, taking advantage of closeouts. Bob Knight would be very proud of the use of the shot fake by Michigan State. Kurt Tang, shot fake, lifting the defender off, and then Jackson Kohler with a hard closeout from Malachi Moreno. Shot fake, lets him fly by, and then just waltzes into an easy jumper. Michigan State has been in complete control of what it has been doing on the offensive end, and Kentucky just can't put enough pressure on the Spartans to take them out of their rhythm.
The numbers are great for the Spartans. You can see 48% field goal percentage of the game, 9 for 17 on 3-pointers, and 17 assists on 23 made field goals. A lot of good stuff at both ends of the floor tonight for the guys in green.
And one of the impressive things, there hasn't been much of a drop-off when Tom Izzo's gone to his bench.
Yeah, McCullough's giving him some good minutes. Ugachukwu. Shot clock at 1. Kohler gets it off, but doesn't draw iron. Ugachukwu will sit. Fears has returned now for Michigan State. Still 11:24 to go. And don't forget, there's another game coming tonight here with the State Farm Champions Classic. Kansas and Duke about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one.
Kentucky has to establish some rhythm in this game. Good slip out of the little ball screen action.
Moreno trying to back down to McCullough, and he'll draw a foul.
Kentucky's had some success in the second half by looking into the post. You know, Michigan State is just guarding one-on-one in the post. And there have been some better opportunities when Kentucky touches the post and gets it into the paint. But we haven't seen much of that throughout this game for the Wildcats.
Malachi Moreno, a McDonald's All-American, top 30 recruit, who has been very productive off the bench in the minutes he's gotten in the early games of the season for Kentucky. Now, obviously, this is a step up in competition other than the Louisville game that they had, but had a big game against Valparaiso, 18 points, 10 rebounds. He mixes it up. He does a lot of good things out there.
Well, he's a lob threat. He's got good footwork, and he's a very good pick-and-roll roller. And as he gets more physical, You know, you're looking at a guy who's going to be a really, really good player for Kentucky.
A steal. Cam Williams. And he'll finish. And we'll see what kind of a spark that may give Kentucky.
That kind of thing drives Tom Izzo crazy. He calls those turnovers for touchdowns. You defend so well throughout the course of this game. You just give one away and inject a little energy for Kentucky.
And as you can see, Wildcats are making a run. Had it down to 10, but a bucket on the baseline for Ford to get it back to a dozen.
Did a nice job fading back into the corner to read that defense, and then a tough finish from Trey Ford.
Offensive rebounds continue to be very tough to come by for Kentucky as Carr stumbles into a held ball, and the possession arrow will give it to the Wildcats.
Just a lazy pass, guard to guard. That's too long without throwing a pass fake. And Cam Williams, a transfer from Tulane, just shot the gap, took it the other way.
It was Trey Ford who turned it over. It is Trey Ford who is now on the bench. Kurtang has returned. Nearing the midway point of the second half. 12-point lead, Michigan State. Dioubate not able to move Kohler one bit. Aberdeen with an air ball from the corner, and it belongs to the Spartans.
Well, Dioubate was really going after that hard, but McCullough came away with it.
Ooh, off the fingertips as Carr and Kohler can't connect.
Just too big of a crowd over there. You should have just taken the ball screen, moved the ball.
And now, for one of the few times tonight, Michigan State does not get back quickly, and it costs them, and Tom Izzo calls a timeout. A little spark here for the Wildcats. They've got it down to 10.
And it all started with that guard-to-guard pass where Cam Williams took it the other way. Kentucky playing with a little bit more energy over the last several possessions. Chasing after the ball. Jasper Johnson getting it with that left hand. Kentucky only down 10. Cohen Carr on the left wing. He's trying to get it. He's getting a ball screen here from Jesse McCullough. Instead of taking it out, he doesn't. He's trying to throw the ball into Jackson Kohler, but instead he's throwing it into four guys. He turns it over, and then Carr and Kohler are having a committee meeting on what just happened. And instead of getting back, Kentucky's able to get it down court and get a wide open three. They miss it, but nobody's there to rebound. Jasper Johnson puts it right back in. And those are the kind of plays. It's one thing to turn it over, but it's another to compound the mistake by not getting back and giving up a bucket on top of it.
Michigan State led by as many as 19. It was 17 at the half. It's 10 right now, and the Spartans have turned it over as many times in the second half, 6, as they did in the entire first half.
That's where when you got a lead, you have to be really strong and get a score here and sort of right the ship a little bit if you're Michigan State.
Carr this time with a bounce pass into the post to Kohler. Almost walked with it. Tang. McCullough with a corner three.
What an answer. Boy, as a big guy, you're not thinking about taking that shot away from Jesse McCullough.
He has made both of his threes tonight, and the Spartans are now 10 for 18 from beyond the arc. Dioubate turns on Kohler, and the lefty up and in.
Always going to go back to that right shoulder to get that shot up with the left hand. You like Kentucky's offense when they're getting it into the paint.
Tang knocks down the jumper. He is having a night.
How strong did he come off that pin down? Just curling right in the lane and aggressive looking for the shot.
6 for 10 from the floor, 15 points. Deep one for Aberdeen. Well short.
That is just not a good shot. I mean, Cohen Carr was right there to put late pressure on that. That's awfully deep.
As well as Michigan State has shot the three, is as poorly as Kentucky has shot the three. They're 4 for 21.
It's really the quality of shot that Kentucky's been taking. The quality's been low. And Mark Pope, even though he's got a lot of players, he's really searching in this game for the right combinations to go up against Michigan State. Not having Jalen Lowe means that Denzel Aberdeen's logging a lot of time at the point.
And Fears just forcing the issue and got a foul called on Aberdeen.
Well, he was able to do that because Aberdeen had almost his back turned to him, so he's not in legal guarding position. And there's no reason for Fears. That's just a really smart play to go right into him to draw that foul.
By the way, Jay, Fears has 10 assists already in this game. In 4 games this year, he's had 9, 10, 9, and 10 now assists in a game.
Well, he probably thinks it's a lot easier when they make every shot.
Tang, not this time. Cooper had it but lost it. And here comes Oweh.
Oh, what a crossover.
But Carr recovered enough, got a little help from Kohler, and Oweh couldn't finish it.
Well, that's just great help by Jackson Kohler.
And then open underneath somehow is Jackson Kohler, and another assist for Jeremy Fears Jr.
It's almost like Kentucky's a little shell-shocked, just not communicating on matchups in transition. That was so easy.
Chandler, the kick to the corner, and the three will go for Oweh.
What a great pass on that back cut by Colin Chandler. Through the defense and just looked opposite, and Oweh was right in the right corner.
And remember, Chandler is playing with 4 fouls.
Which means you should go at him at every opportunity.
Tang for 3. Followed his miss. Tipped it to Kohler, who lays it in.
Tang went after the ball. Kentucky was looking to get into transition before they got the ball.
Oweh one-on-one over Cooper. And nobody on the offensive glass with a white jersey.
Boy, why he settled for a jump shot there. Just drive Carson Cooper. Michigan State doesn't need to be in a hurry here. Just run your offense. And their offensive rebounding needs to be on point.
Yelovich tries to push Kohler out towards the corner. Kohler now backing him down and draws a foul.
And that sends him to the line.
Michigan State has been the aggressor all night long, and they've got a 14-point lead here in this one in the State Farm Champions Classic. Looking to close it out against Kentucky over the next 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
This is the kind of thing that loses you games. Now take a look at Kentucky's transition defense. Jackson Kohler right here, Carson Cooper as the trailer, and Yelovich and Garrison, both of them, they don't communicate. They both go to Carson Cooper. That leaves Jackson Kohler wide open underneath for as easy a bucket as Michigan State has had in this game. Now Kentucky was back, just a lack of communication from the two big guys, Yelovich and Garrison, on matchups. And that's got to drive Mark Pope and his staff crazy, because that's the easy stuff that Kentucky hasn't done in this game. And the Wildcats have been getting to the foul line. They've won the free throw battle, but they're losing every other battle, and they're down 14 with Jackson Kohler a chance to stretch this out even more.
Jay made the comment about whether Kentucky players were shell-shocked. Well, they were frustrated with each other, kind of players barking at each other. When Mark Pope sat down, tried to settle everyone and said, this is when we need to make our push, but it involves getting stops and being better in transition.
Chris, thank you. Kind of surprisingly, as we see Kohler with the line, given how aggressive and crisp Michigan State has been offensively, they haven't been to the line very much. Those were just their 5th and 6th free throw attempts on the night. They are 5 for 6 from the line. Again, no Jalen Lowe.
And no Jaden Quaintance. He's been out with that ACL injury. Not expected back for a while.
Transfer from Arizona State, projected as a lottery pick, and boy, is he going to be a big force in the front court when he gets healthy. Chandler misses the three, and it's out of bounds to the Spartans.
You know, Chandler spent so much time out after picking up that fourth foul. Difficult to establish any rhythm coming back in. He is arguably the best shooter on this Kentucky roster. Trent Noah's pretty darn good, but he hasn't played much after that ankle injury.
Tang back out to Scott. Now Fears with 10 to shoot. Cooper the ball screen. Fears the lob. Oh, finish over the top by Cam Ward.
And no panic on the part of Jeremy Fears. No panic at all as that shot clock was going down. What a find.
Well, of the 12 assists he has tonight, that might be his favorite. Although there are a few other that could certainly get in on the conversation.
Boy, it has been a war on the glass. Cam Ward and Dioubate going after each other.
Dioubate slow to get back. Looks like something is wrong. He was slow to get up and is grimacing as he makes his way towards the Kentucky bench. Michigan State with an 8-0 run and up by 20.
Kentucky cut it to 10. And then the good shooting big guy, Jesse McCullough, hit that three from the right corner, which was a huge bucket in this second half. And then Michigan State has not looked back since. Boy, Cam Ward and Mo Dioubate were going after each other and just going right over the top there. Looked like he got his leg caught. Oh, boy. Boy, there are aspects of this game that have required shoulder pads and a helmet.
Just the way Tom Izzo likes it.
He loves it.
Yeah. Tomorrow, the SEC Network has a college basketball doubleheader for you, starting with the women's second-ranked South Carolina Gamecocks facing Winthrop at 7 Eastern, and then on the men's side, it'll be number 22 Auburn hosting Jackson State. Both games also available on the all-new ESPN app. Of course, Stephen Pearl taking over for his dad, Bruce Pearl, as the head coach at Auburn. What a game they had with Kelvin Sampson and Houston. Just a couple of nights ago, the Cougars winning a one-point game on the road. Another early season big-time matchup between ranked teams that is so good for the sport.
And how about the freshmen for Kelvin Sampson and Houston? Kingston Flemings for Houston and Chris Sinak Jr. They were excellent in that game. Yeah. Sinak Jr. had, what, 18 points, 10 rebounds? He's a rebounding machine as a freshman.
Looks like it'll be another great year, aren't they all, for Kelvin Sampson and company, as now Dioubate is making his way back towards the Kentucky locker room.
Kentucky has dealt with some tough injuries the last couple of years. You remember Lamont Butler with that shoulder last year, and now Jalen Lowe, the transfer from Pitt, going through a shoulder issue himself.
Aberdeen splits a pair, 75-56.
Now for Michigan State, this is about ball security. Get the ball in, be strong with it. You know Kentucky's coming after you full court. And every common foul is free throws for Michigan State.
Pretty good guy to get you into what you want to get into, and Jeremy Fears Jr. as he brings it over.
He's been such a good. Oh, that was the screen. Yeah.
I believe Jordan Scott for the screen.
Just ran into the defender after that handoff action.
His third. Dioubate back on the bench. Reaching down for that left ankle. Aberdeen driving on Scott. Had it knocked away.
Great help by Carson Cooper. That allowed Scott to be able to catch up because Cooper showed his chest to the driver with both hands up.
Scott elevates and will head to the free throw line.
Well, Michigan State's cutting has been so crisp throughout this game. And it seems like Kentucky's been chasing every action.
What is it you like about Scott?
Well, he's got good length. He's a terrific athlete, a vertical athlete. And he chases the ball down. He's an excellent rebounder for his size. You know, his mother, Christy Winter Scott, was the second all-time leading scorer at the University of Maryland when she left there.
1 of 2 and the lead back to 20. Williams with a corner 3 that won't go.
Well, Michigan State has just shut off the offensive glass for Kentucky. For the most part, it has been 1 and out for the Wildcats.
And Michigan State, no need to be in a hurry at the offensive end. Fears finds Carr in the corner. He'll bring it back out.
Still plenty of time.
The hedge by Moreno. The open man is Cooper. And the rebound down to Oweh. Saved, but back into the hands of Oweh as Scott went flying into the third row. And Carr rips down the rebound at the defensive end.
Well, Michigan State down a man when Scott went into the stands to save that ball, and still Kentucky can't get a score.
Kentucky shooting just 34% on the night and 19%, 5 for 26 from three-point range. 20-point lead for the Spartans, 3:08 to go. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you. Welcome back. Here's tonight's assist to the game, brought to you by State Farm.
And Jeremy Fears Jr. has been incredible in this game with his leadership, his ball security. 13 assists for Jeremy Fears Jr. He's averaging now over 10 assists per game, and that was with the team coming into this shooting only 22% from 3.
And they've got some big games coming in the month of December. Michigan State will see North Carolina, Gonzaga, Indiana, and St. John's. All in the, excuse me, that's the Kentucky side. My mistake. That's the Kentucky schedule in December. Michigan State will also see North Carolina coming up soon. They will see Duke in East Lansing on December the 6th. That's kind of a return game or a makeup game. Go back to COVID. This event, when one of the games was moved and Michigan State played at Cameron instead of playing at the neutral site. We all remember that things were happening quickly and games were being canceled or relocated. So John Shire and Duke are going to kind of make up for that by going to East Lansing in early December.
And obviously have to do it in a year where those two teams aren't playing in this event. But I think Tom Izzo deserves another shot at Cameron Indoor Stadium when there are fans in there.
How happy is Tom Izzo with Jeremy Fears Jr.? You could see that as he went to the bench. Denham Wojcik is into the game. A grad transfer from Harvard and the son of associate head coach Doug Wojcik.
Doug Wojcik, an outstanding player at Navy, where he played with David Robinson and Vernon Butler, Carl Liebert. Team that went to the Elite 8 in 1986.
Izzo only has one of his starters in the game still, and it's Jackson Kohler, who's had a 20-point night.
Jackson Kohler is just a man, experienced, great footwork, and just in control of everything he's doing out there.
And does not back down from a physical challenge, no matter who's defending him.
No.
Or who he has to defend. He has had a great night. Here he is. Wojcik, what a feed into Ward.
That's just excellent patience at the end of a clock by Michigan State and Denham Wojcik. They must have taught some things at Harvard.
Less than 2.5 to go. Michigan State running away with it here late.
I did not have this on my bingo card.
Nor me. Chandler with a corner 3. 80 to 59. film tomorrow or Thursday, whenever they have it in Lexington, is not going to be an enjoyable experience for the Kentucky players.
Might be film on the plane back.
Yeah. Fade away by Kohler won't go. Chandler down with it with 1:45 to go. Moreno running the floor, and he'll get a trip to the line. Don't forget, coming up between games, the college football top 25 reveal. Joey Galloway, Greg McElroy, Reese Davis will bring to you everything you want to know about what's going on the gridiron. And then we got Duke and Kansas in game 2.
Galloway and McElroy will be a nice departure from this balletic performance to talk about that sadistic ground acquisition game that's nothing more than a crypto-fascist metaphor for war. Football.
But how do you really feel? Kohler gets a big ovation from the Michigan State faithful as he leaves the game.
And he should. Another outstanding performance for Jackson Kohler.
Kind of a statement win here for Michigan State, wouldn't you say, on a neutral court to some very talented Kentucky team. And they have beaten them handily here tonight. Wojcik into the front court.
Another great shot fake.
And another three. The 11th of the night for the Spartans, who came in with 13 total in their first 3 games.
And Michigan State has just cut up Kentucky in this game.
Game 2, Kansas and Duke. John Shire in his 4th year as the head coach at his alma mater, leading the Blue Devils in here. Duke is off to a very impressive start this year. And again, Kansas, they're a man down. No Darren Peterson, need a big night from Flory, Badunga, and others. It'll be Kansas 3-1, Duke 4-0, coming up in the late game about 30 minutes after the end of this one.
I love the coach off the bus shot, because the most important thing isn't the coach, it's who's getting off the bus with him. You got horses getting off that bus, you feel a heck of a lot better, and he's got a thoroughbred in Cameron Boozer getting off with him.
For people who know the name, know the family history, know the hype, but haven't seen Cameron Boozer, what are they going to see tonight?
They're going to see someone. There's Carlos Boozer right there, an All-American at Duke, played in the NBA for 1,000,000 years with us at ESPN. But Cameron Boozer is a lot like Paolo Banchero was at Duke several years ago when he left after his freshman year after taking Duke to the Final Four and was the #1 pick in the draft. Boozer's really skilled, excellent rebounder. He's got great feet, great hands, and just really versatile playing the 4 spot.
Final minute of regulation, Michigan State in control. Shot clock inside 10. McCullers hit a couple of threes. He'll try to drive this time. Ford with another shot fake. The tip no good. Out of bounds, Kentucky ball. It has been a shot fake clinic here tonight by the Spartans, and now Tom Izzo is going to empty the bench.
It's been really a clinic in just about every avenue. You know, Tom Izzo at halftime told Chris Budden they got to do a better job on slips and ball screen defense. I'm like, hey, Tom, it's not going to be a shutout. I mean, your team's playing pretty well, but never satisfied. But I think he's going to be awfully satisfied with the overall performance of Michigan State in this game against Kentucky. And Kentucky's good. They just didn't look like it because of Michigan State.
The Walton twins, Brennan and Colin, are into the game, as is Nick Sanders. Speaking of football, son of the Hall of Famer Barry Sanders. A deep 3 there for Jasper Johnson. And they don't need to take a shot. The shot clock is turned off.
Hey, look how low Denham Wojcik stays with the ball. That's been a big factor in this game. Michigan State has played lower in this game than Kentucky. And boy, have they been the aggressor.
Sanders got a shot off, but Yelovich blocks it. 5 seconds to go. Johnson will hoist one, and that will be that. An impressive outing by Tom Izzo's team here tonight. All Michigan State as they dominate for the vast majority of the night. They go to 3-2 against Kentucky at the champions, and they beat them going away by a score of 83-66.
The contributions that Michigan State got in this game from Trey Ford. Kurt Tang had perhaps his best game as a Spartan. And then Jeremy Fears controlled the game from the point guard position. Just a stunning performance on both ends of the floor by Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans.
A win that he's got to be very proud of, the way his players performed here on this big stage early in the season, really taking it to Kentucky after the first few minutes of the game. And in the storied career of Tom Izzo, this is win number 741. Chris Budden has coach.
I don't even know if you can hear me, but you said they making shots look easy. What were you most impressed with today?
Well, I was most impressed with we made some shots and we still rebounded the ball. That's a very good team. They didn't play well tonight. They didn't make some shots early, but I didn't think our defense was great early. I thought second half was much better.
I want to bring in this guy over here. Jackson, what was the difference for you guys offensively? What was the difference for you guys offensively tonight?
Say it again.
What was the difference for you guys offensively?
We shared the ball a lot more. We started making our shots. We had a high percentage from the three-point line, and we just kept sharing the ball. This is a team win. This is a team effort.
Share the ball with this group. To have this kind of night in this building against the Blue Bloods, what's this feeling like?
It's special, man. It's what college basketball is all about, man. I'm so glad I got to share with everybody, and everybody had the game, man.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
All smiles for the guys in green. What a win for them. Kohler, 20 points. Fears, 13 assists. Michigan State wins 83-66. Duke and Kansas still to come. But right now, it is time for the much-anticipated college football playoff top 25 reveal. Here's Reese and the guys.